Hey everyone, it's Michael Beresford here from OpenCorp. In recent times, APRA, who are the banking regulator, have been making it more difficult for people to be able to get money through the way that the servicing calculators work. So basically what I'm saying here is, even though your mortgage repayment in actual terms on interest rates today might be $2,500 per month, the banks are actually assessing, before they lend you the money, they're assessing your ability to repay that at a 7.4% interest rate on principal and interest repayment amounts. Okay, so for those of you that are new to the finance world, basically what I'm saying here is that the banks are building in very big buffers on top of what you actually repay today when they consider whether or not to lend you money. Okay, so if you're able to get, and I said it just before, if you're able to get money in the lending market today, then make no mistake, you've well and truly got enough buffer there to be able to meet those repayments should interest rates go up. Okay, now interest rates will go up. Okay, that's inevitable. It will happen at some point. They can't be a record lows forever. But let's look at this practically. They're not going to go up by 2 to 2.5% in one hit. And if we think about what happens, because this is a big concern that a lot of people have, what if interest rates go up? So if we explore that, let's think about the cause and effect relationship. If interest rates go up, what's causing that? Well, interest rates rise when an economy is expanding or growing, and interest rates typically drop after the GFC when economies are contracting or shrinking. Okay, so if interest rates are going up, then other things are happening as well. Prices are going up, giving people more equity and a more solid position that they've got with their asset. And chances are as well that inflation is increasing, and as a result, consumer confidence is high, and part of the reason for that would be that wage growth would be occurring as well. Okay, so again, please don't look at all of these factors in isolation. Think about how they work together. And yes, while we want to ensure that if interest rates rise, we've got enough money to cover that, okay, we can do that in two ways. We know that the banks are building in buffers first and foremost, and secondly, okay, we know that if interest rates do rise, we're probably going to have more money in our pockets to be able to pay and cover those higher repayments anyway as a result of why the rates are going up in the first place. Okay, that brings me to mortgage stress. So if interest rates were to rise, then no doubt some of the Australian population would probably need to adjust the lifestyle that they've got today to be able to cope with more money going towards their mortgage repayment. Okay. Now, when I read articles that talk about mortgage stress and the number of people that would go into mortgage stress, it's always a really, it's a scary thing to hear, but it's always really hard to quantify it, because who exactly are we talking about? The Australian property market and Australians as a whole are not a one-size-fits-all operation. We've got very affordable property in remote areas or more affordable property in regional areas. We've got some very expensive property in a very close proximity to the major capital cities, and those markets work in different ways. Okay, and have different buyers in different financial circumstances looking to acquire those properties. So when you think about all of these moving parts, okay, what is important to understand is, well, in Australia today, most people have a pretty good lifestyle. I know when I go out on a Friday night and you're in the car and you're looking, most of the restaurants are pretty full. People are spending a lot of money because of the low interest rate environment. They've got more disposable income. They're living life. They're having fun. And have a lifestyle that they're happy with. Now, if interest rates were to rise, yes, there might need to be some compromises on that lifestyle. And for a period of time, there might need to be a little bit less money on entertainment and a little bit more money on the mortgage repayment, as opposed to less money on the mortgage repayment and more money on the lifestyle like there is today. So, look, I could probably talk for another half an hour, guys, on this Four Corners program and a few of the things that are brought up. But hopefully you've got some information there that you can digest, I guess, in a balanced view on how we see the property market. Again, something that we've said before, while the Australian government has a commitment to skill migration and to population growth because we have an aging population, and they need to raise that money in the form of taxes to be able to pay the pensions and support our ageing population, there will be an ongoing demand for residential housing in Australia. There's only so much land, there's only so many properties in the main areas where the job creation is existing. That gives us a pretty good supply and demand equation there for ongoing price growth. But hopefully these 4 factors give you some takeaway points to make those muddy waters just a little bit clearer. We'll see you next time.